According to legend, it was Garth Greenhand who first led men across the narrow land bridge known as the Arm of Dorn. No one knows why men first came to Westeros, but what is known is that they were not welcome. As men settled into Westeros, they began killing giants and waging war against the children of the forest. Although gifted in magic, the children lacked the fighting skills and the strength of men. It is said that men bore children at a much higher rate than the older races of Westeros, such as the children and the giants. Men spread through Westeros, chopping down weirwood trees, and more encroaching on the land of the children. Eventually, the first men outnumbered the old races of Westeros 3-1, and against the first men, mounted and clad in armor and with weapons of metal, the children were no match. But still, the children of the forest had power and knowledge that the first men did not. It is told that the children gathered in their hundreds upon the ancient and mysterious Isle of Faces. There they conjured the Hammer of the Waters, and it unleashed its fury. The earth beneath the Arm of Dorn broke open and the sea rushed in. The land bridge was swallowed into the depths of the ocean, carrying all those who dwelled there with it. It was all, however, proved for naught, as the first men had already settled throughout Westeros, and the children's second attempt at conjuring the hammer at the neck of Westeros failed, leaving the marshlands. What old powers were beseeched on the Isle of Faces to bring about the breaking of the world? According to the World of Ice and Fire, the children called upon their old gods with prayer, song, and grisly sacrifice. In some versions of the tale, 1,000 men were captured and fed to the weirwoods. And in other, perhaps even more terrible versions, the children used the blood of their own young. As we know, sacrifice before a weirwood tree seems to have been a tradition of the first men. It seems that dying before a weirwood tree provides a kind of afterlife. Death before a weirwood tree is no death at all. Your consciousness is transferred into the weirwood tree net. You become one with the roots of the trees, one with nature and the forest itself, and all the animals that live in and depend on it. Children of the Forest was the name given to them by the first men, but it is not their true name. They called themselves those who sing the song of earth, in the true tongue, a language which no human can speak. So what does their name mean? The children called upon the old gods with prayer, grisly sacrifice, and song. In many cultures and religions in our own world, songs are used as a way of communing with higher planes of existence, a way of transcending the physical. We know that in our story, songs can be used for ritual purposes. Mirri Maz Duur uses songs to conjure shadows in Drogo's tent, and later sings to create the spell which seems to have saved Dany from burning. A song can be a spell, it seems. If we look at the actual definitions of the word song, we see that it can be defined as the musical phrases uttered by some birds, whales, and insects, typically forming a recognizable and repeated sequence, and used chiefly for territorial defense. This definition suggests that the children view themselves as the defenders of Earth. The key difference between mankind and the children is that men live on the Earth and the children live with the Earth. The children plant no seeds, they farm no animals, they take only what they need from the land. Men, on the other hand, destroy forests for shelter. They hunt animals to extinction, such as the unicorns and the lions of Westeros. The point is that the children viewed mankind as huge offenders against nature, their territory. A conflict was inevitable. When the children realized that they were losing the war, drastic measures were required. So the children are the defenders of nature, and they also sing the songs and the spells of earth. And the old gods stirred, and giants awoke in the earth, and all of Westeros trembled. It is said that giants awoke in the earth when the children sang their songs and conjured the Hammer of the Waters on the Isle of Faces. Does this mean literal giants? Seems unlikely to me. The phrase giants awoke from the earth is mentioned more than once in A Song of Ice and Fire. Joramun, who blew the horn of winter and woke giants from the earth. Jon Snow 3, A Clash of Kings. The Horn of Joramun is a legendary horn created by the children. It is believed to have the power to somehow bring down the wall. It looks like giants waking from the earth is a metaphor for earthquakes. What else could bring down a giant ice wall? What else could rip the Arm of Dorn into shreds and break the neck of Westeros into pieces? From what we know of the children, most of their power stems from the weirwood trees somehow, and the power of the trees seems to be fueled by blood. The likeness between the sap of the trees and blood is brought up multiple times throughout our story. It looks like that in order to harness the power of the earth, a sacrifice must be made, a sacrifice to the trees. And if the children were using their own young, as the world of Ice and Fire suggests, then this could be related to their small numbers which dwindled from small to almost none during the feud with mankind. Did the children out of desperation make the ultimate sacrifice, killing off their own young in an attempt to stop mankind from claiming the forest? It seems to fit the pattern of situational irony in the story of the children versus men. The children kill their own young to break the world and end up causing their numbers to dwindle even further. It's also possible that in A Song of Ice and Fire, the children use their own young to create the others, which backfires and leads to the long night. The ones who sing the songs of earth are their own undoing. In this series, it has been demonstrated again and again that sorcery is costly. In A Dance with Dragons, Melisandre mentions the cost of her power. It was an art, and like all arts, it demanded mastery, discipline, study, pain. That too. R'hllor spoke to his chosen ones through blessed fire, in a language of ash and cinder, and twisting flame that only a god could truly grasp. And Melisandre had practiced her art for years beyond count, and she had paid the price. Blood trickled down her thigh, black and smoking. The fire was inside her, an agony and ecstasy, filling her, searing her, transforming her. Melisandre says the fire is searing her, transforming her. If she is truly using a glamour to appear much younger than she is, then this seems to suggest that she is in constant pain from a fire within, all to maintain a glamour. Mirri Maz Duur mentions the cost of magic as well, stating to Daenerys multiple times that only death can pay for life. Beric Dondarrion is left more empty and hollow each time he is resurrected, and eventually he chooses willingly to die. Bran's power was born only when he fell from the tower and broke his legs. Arya's power was only truly awoken when she was blinded. Payment must be made, a trade of sorts. The ones who sang the songs of earth traded in blood, the blood of their own young, and it was key in their doom.